What's a god?
They're real if you believe in them.
So who are you?
You wouldn't believe in me if I told you.
This is my man, Shadow Moon.
He does not know our world.
I'm easing him in.
You've gotten yourself mixed up in some really weird shit, Shadow.
You think I'm spent?
You're as forgotten and as unloved as any of us.
I'm doing just fine.
You trying to start a war? We're at war already, and we're losing.
Who's after you?
Times they are changing.
We need you to fight them, to show them who we are.
They are gods, for God's sake!
So what's the plan?
War.
Deliver me, deliver me.
None of this feels real. It feels like a dream.
Things are never going back to the way that they were.
It will be glorious, win or lose.
You have died, Mrs. Fadil. And it is time for you to come with me.
Oh, my Lord, take me home. Lay me at the bottom of the river.
Shadow Moon, this way.
When we first meet Shadow, he's in prison, and the warden brings him into his office and reveals that his wife was in an accident.
Good news, we're letting you out early. Bad news, your wife's dead.
Shadow is broken. His life has fallen apart. And then he meets a mysterious old hustler who calls himself Wednesday, who offers him a job.
I just happen to be in a hiring position. And I could be Mr. Wednesday with a shake of the hand.
Shadow Moon thought he knew how the world worked, but he comes to meet Mr. Wednesday and finds out that gods exist, and they are walking around the earth with us.
I think I'm losing my mind. There are bigger sacrifices one might be asked to make than going a little mad.
There's a storm brewing between the new gods and the old.
The power of fire is fire power.
The old gods and new gods have the same power source, which is worship.
Worship me. Pray to me like I'm your god.
The biblical and mythical gods of old have been faded out. Nowadays, we worship technology, media, money, fame.
We're going to delete you. One click and you are overwritten.
Without worship and without that belief that they get from people, the gods essentially lose all of their abilities, all of their standing, all of their power, and can ultimately die out.
We need you, Spring, to fight them, to show the new gods who we are.
War is coming, and Wednesday and Shadow are going across America to enlist old gods in a war against the new gods.
Is this real? Did that just happen? It's still happening.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. If you didn't know, American Gods is starting tomorrow night, so I'm going to explain what's going on, some of the broad concepts behind the series, and the characters. If you've never heard of American Gods, you have no idea what it is. It's based on a book written by Neil Gaiman, and it's a little bit like Game of Thrones if everybody on Game of Thrones was a god. Like imagine the War of the Five Kings if everyone were a god, and the thing that they were fighting over was faith itself. There's only so many people in the world, gods draw their strength from worship, so you see the encroaching new gods like media, television, the internet, the new gods of the modern world supplanting the old gods and sort of stealing the worship from them, causing them to slowly fade away and die. But depending on your guys' interest level, I will do weekly episode videos for it. I'm definitely doing an episode video tomorrow night. The most important stuff is that it's on the Starz channel in the United States, and outside the United States, it's on Amazon Prime. So just double check whichever country you live in where to find American Gods. And if you have to low-key leech it from somewhere, then we will not judge you because it is going to be the most hardcore new series this year. I am so excited about it. They have one of the best creative minds in television running the show, Brian Fuller. Remember when we used to be really excited about that new Star Trek TV show because he was running it? The trailer did a pretty good job of setting up the series. The protagonist that you follow around is Shadow Moon. He's the audience surrogate, the one that's learning that gods are real. Oh my god, what the hell's going on? There's this mystical, crazy world all around us that I never knew about. So the way they explain gods is that people create them through their faith and they bring them wherever they go. So there's a couple key scenes during the first episode that explain the mechanics of that. You see slaves from Africa that worship Anansi, the trickster god, being taken to America. So through their prayer, they bring the god with him, so you get to see him on the slave ship, and it sort of explains how a lot of the old gods came to America. So as the title implies, American gods, these are all old gods and new gods that were either brought there by immigrants from the old world wherever they came from, or they're new gods like Gillian Anderson who represent television because people nowadays worship television like a god. So the name of the game for these old gods is that one, you just lay down and die as people stop worshiping you, or you can adapt to new forms of worship based on the way people's culture and traditions have changed. Probably the best example of that in the trailer is this god here. He's Vulcan, the Roman god of fire, metalworking, the forge, volcanoes. So what happened is that there's not a lot of volcanoes in America. The way he's adapted in the modern world is to draw his power from the faith that people put in their guns. So a gun is kind of like a mini volcano is a joke that they use on the show. So he's an old god adapting to new forms of worship. So part of the fun of the series is that virtually all the characters that Shadow meets as he treks across the land are gods in some way, either old gods or new gods. So Mr. Wednesday is Odin, like you notice the glass eye, you notice there are ravens all over the place. He's the god of death along with many other things, so part of the reason why he wants this war with the new gods is because he draws strength from blood that's spilled on battlefields. So part of the way that he's trying to adapt to the modern world is to get people to make war on each other. So it's a little bit like Ares in the Wonder Woman movie. So that's why he's trying to sell these old gods on this war. Don't go out like a bitch, go out fighting, don't let them take your faith from you. But he also really wants people to die, even though it could be his friends, it could be the enemies that they're trying to take down. Either way, he comes out on top. So Ian McShane, Mr. Wednesday Odin, is the ultimate con man of the series, and it is just so fun to watch him work his magic. So just like Game of Thrones, there is symbolism in everything, in objects, in turns of phrase. So I'll play this scene here between Mr. Wednesday and Shadow, where he's flipping a coin.
I'm a hustler, swindler, cheater, and liar. Tails. It's not always gonna be tails.
The heading of that was a hat tip to Mr. Wednesday being a trickster, pulling a long con, trying to engineer this war so that he can gain all this power. The coin itself, as in coin tricks are a big thing in American gods, is sort of a hat tip to that as well. So there's a lot that we have to wait to talk about till after the first episode because it's kind of spoilery with respect to a very special coin in Mad Sweeney's character, but we can talk all about it. There is crazy symbolism. So everybody is a god. Even Shadow Moon is the god Balder from Norse mythology. So one of his powers, even though he doesn't fully believe it yet, is a measure of indestructibility, which is why you see him getting into that fight with Mad Sweeney. Mr. Wednesday sort of goads him into it just to see what he's made of. So as we meet new characters through the first episode, I'll point out which god they are, what their powers are, and how they fit into the series. But if you have the book or you're getting ready to read it, they said that the first season isn't going to do the entire book. They're only going through about halfway, but because the book was published a long time ago, you could actually go on and read what happens to the characters, learn all about them. But I'll try to explain as much as possible as we meet them through the series. But you guys can just let me know what you want me to focus on mostly during my videos. So I will be doing giveaways just like I do for Game of Thrones. So if you watch my Game of Thrones videos, it'll be the same deal for this series. And hopefully everybody finds it. I really want it to be popular. Creatively, it's just as good, but sometimes there are a lot of outside factors that influence how people find TV shows. Like if you don't know what channel it's on, or you don't know when it's on, or there's some other big confusion. So hopefully you guys are able to find it. Sunday night is when it starts. I'll post my video after it airs. It is going to be crazy. So while you wait for that to post, you can click here for brand new Game of Thrones, and you can click here for brand new Star Wars Episode 8. Thank you so much for watching. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.